Hey everyone, welcome back to my Ottawa Senators GM mode. I'm going to be simming the 2025 to 26 season here today, so it'll be a little more interesting this time to get a bit of a live reaction as to how the simulation goes for my Senators team here this season. I'll be jumping around a bit, kind of popping back in when interesting things happen, because you got to do a lot of micromanaging during the simulation in terms of setting the lines when there's injuries and stuff like that. So I'm gonna get ahead with simulating, and I will see ya when something cool happens. Alright, so we're back at the 20 game mark, and things have already gotten interesting because we have a goaltending controversy. I will go to the stats really quickly here, but just before I do that, we are 9-7-4 so far in the season, which doesn't look too great, but if you actually see our last 10 there, 6-2-2, which means that we had a horrible start actually. I think we started 2-5-2, and at that point, we had the worst goaltending I've ever seen in my freaking life. Worse than the Sens goaltending in real life. So I'll look at the skater stats in a second here, but first things first, you see Levi Meriläinen with amazing stats, a 7-1 record, 2 shutouts, and a .935 save percentage. He started in the AHL. He didn't actually play a game yet in the AHL before I called him up, but he was going to be starting in the AHL. As you can see, Korpisalo with the 2-3-3 record, only 2 wins in 9 games, pretty terrible, and an .878, and this really sucks because he actually did quite well last year, and he played all of our playoff games and had really good stats. So Korpisalo is back to being trash, apparently, but what's even worse is that Maude Sogaard, I have put him back in the AHL now, playing with waivers off because I can't stand dealing with waivers in this game. For reasons like this, is that Maude Sogaard started 5 games and had an .865, somehow even worse than Korpisalo, 4.31 GAA. So absolute insanity. He had to get waived, go back to the AHL. He's doing so bad that no one picked him up, even though waivers are off. Waivers are off, but I'll justify it by saying that we wouldn't lose him because he's doing so poorly. A bit of a Ilya Samsonov or Jack Campbell situation there. Hell, I could probably waive Korpisalo, and if waivers were on, don't know if he would get claimed with that stat and that contract. So Levi Meriläinen is apparently the man to lead us forward to the playoffs, apparently. I'm going to keep running with him in goal, and Korpisalo will play every now and then. Unless one of them gets injured, I think Sogaard might just be stuck in the AHL for a while. So thank God for Levi, because without him, we would have 2 goalies who can't even get like an .890 save percentage, apparently. So what a weird start to the season that I wasn't expecting. We'll take a look at the other players. Jake Sanderson is actually putting up points now, which is awesome. I think I put him on the first power play unit. So he's already got 5 power play points. Last year, he only had 5 in total. So he almost has as many points as all of last season already, which is crazy. I made sure to give him a lot of ice time with offensive situations and that, so trying to juice his stats. Yeah, he's playing almost 27 minutes a night, so he's the guy now. We want to get his stats up. And Chabot missed a couple of games due to injury, but still 13 points in 17 games is really good. He will just always put up those points. He's automatic. Chychrun is also doing a little better points-wise than his previous pace. 12 points in 20 games. Hopefully he can crack maybe 40 points this year. That would be nice. That's what you would expect of him in real life, but he's not doing that good in this simulation. Zub, -5, Oleksiak, -2. They were much worse before. I think Oleksiak was like -8 or -9, so it's improving. Although he did just get injured, he's out of the lineup. Klevin has been subbing in, and Gannett has been in a lot as well. He's a -9, so I might try to like replace him if he doesn't pick up that plus-minus pretty soon. I think he was pretty good last year. He was a +7 in 45 games, so want to see him pick it up for sure. And then the forwards, we'll take a look here. I already see one name missing from the top scorers here that is really pissing me off, so I'm gonna scroll right down to him and start there. Yeah, Ridley Gregg only has 1 goal and 6 points in 20 games, -6, which is pretty bad. It seems like he doesn't shoot the puck, and when he does, he gets a low shooting percentage in this game. So Ridley Gregg is a little frustrating here. He obviously has the really good defense stats and physical stats, so he's a good part of the team, but I want to see him scoring some more points. Maybe I should get him on the second power play unit. that might be something to consider. Our star rookie, Ivan Demidov, even though he's only playing 4th line ice time with 2nd power play unit, he has 13 points, 6 power play points, so that's quite a good start to his career here, even though he's getting really limited minutes. I like to see that point production, and he might be able to move up in the lineup later in the season too, especially if we have injuries. Batherson, yeah, he has 1 more point than Batherson does, which is funny. That might be something, maybe switch them. Maybe slide Batherson down the lineup and move Demidov up. I don't know. It could be a consideration. Järventie, Laughton, pretty good in the bottom 6. And then up to the top 6. Tkachuk and Stützle, they're doing what they do. They got to fix that plus-minus, of course. But with that horrible goaltending, I think the plus-minus numbers are a little bit scuffed. Giroux as well, still awesome. Pinto, 10 goals in 20 games is an amazing start for him. How many goals? Yeah, he only had 17 goals last year, so he's already on pace to smash that, which is awesome. Love to see that. And Norris is doing pretty well on the wing, 16 points in 20 games. So pretty good start from most of our offensive players. The only person who I think isn't doing great is really Greg with only 1 goal. But hopefully he can bounce back. I might try to switch up the lines a little bit, or at least shove him into that 2nd power play unit. It's hard though, because I don't even have Matthew Joseph on there either, because putting Chabot, Chychrun, and Sanderson all on the power play seems necessary. So then it's harder to make room for other forwards on there. Yeah, I can't really take Batherson off of the 2nd line without losing the plus 1. So I think that will stay the same for now. I could like switch him with Giroux. That could be something to consider. Maybe I'll do that for a little bit and see if we can get Batherson's point totals up a little bit more. They're not bad, but they could be better. Although I think it's just because he hasn't really scored any goals. Like Norris with 8 and Pinto with 10 on his line, he's providing the assists to them. So he's not as much of the goal scorer on this line. He's playing the playmaker role. So maybe we'll stick with that for now and it'll be okay. But yeah, really Greg. I guess I could switch him with Pinto or Norris, but those 2 guys are doing well, so I don't wanna lower their ice time. First, I guess I didn't look at our power play percentage. How many power play points these guys have? Stützle has 9 power play points in 20 games, which is really good. Norris has 7. Sanderson, we saw he had 5. What about Brady? Brady has 9 as well, and Giroux has 8. So first unit looks like they're doing really well. Okay, if I can get the 2nd unit here. Pinto, Batherson, Demidov. Oh yeah, I guess Joseph is in there because yeah, an injury happened, so I think when Chabot got injured, I forgot to put him back in the power play. So, you know what? Chabot had 13 points in 17 games with only 1 power play point, not even really being on the power play, which is actually quite impressive. I feel like he needs to stay on the power play though, because we need his abilities on there. I don't think I can fit really Greg onto the power play unless someone gets injured, which sucks because I would like to try to boost his point totals. In the wild card position right now, it's not bad. We could easily win a few games and move up. So we're gonna continue here with Maryland in net. Do 1 more against the Coyotes. Okay, Corpy is injured, so Maude Sogard is gonna come back up. How's he doing in the AHL? Okay, he picked it up. He had a couple of really good games here in the AHL, up to 927 in the AHL. So come back up here, Mads. Hopefully you can do better in the NHL this time. I don't want to leave you down there in the AHL. Ideally, Sogard and Marilina will both be able to outplay Korpisalo, and then I can kind of move on from him. But it hasn't really happened that way yet. So I don't know. It's a weird goaltending situation going on. All right, I simmed a couple more games with Maryland in net, and we're still winning. Now I want to give Sogard a game because Minnesota has a pretty bad record. So we're going to see if Maude Sogard can improve his .865 save percentage with a game against a pretty weak opponent here. What do we got? 3-2 shootout win. He did pretty well. Now, of course, Korpisalo is back from injury at this point, although I'm kind of thinking that I could give Sogard a couple more games and see if he improves, because look at that. In 1 game of doing really well, he moved up to .883 save percentage, moved up like 20 points, and that's almost as good as Korpisalo. So I think I'll give Sogard another game here. I didn't want to be carrying 3 goalies at this point, but you got to do what you got to do, I guess. And it also looks like the Leafs have a pretty crappy record, so let's give Sogard another game against a weak opponent. Another shootout win. Oh my god, our last like 4 games have all gone to overtime or a shootout. So that was another good performance from Sogard. I'm tempted to keep him in for another game. Like, it seems like Levi Marilainen is the starter at this point, but Sogard with 2 really good games in a row has improved his stats. So let's see, maybe another game. I know I'm playing him against bad opponents. Seattle is also below 500 again, but if you're winning, you're winning. They don't have, okay. Yeah, now he loses. That's okay. If you have 2 good games for every bad one, that's not bad. A 2 to 1 ratio is pretty good. So Sogard did decent in that little time. We'll put Levi back in net. All right, time for another check-in here. We are now at the halfway point of the season, and your Ottawa Senators have 47 points in 41 games, which is not that good. Only 20 wins out of 41 games is pretty rough, but we're 3rd in the division, so I guess our whole division is just kind of sucking this year. The 7 overtime losses really help us out. Let's see, compared to the Metro division, I mean, we would still be tied for 3rd in the Metro as well. And then the West, we would be tied for 3rd in the Central Division, and then it's the Pacific Division is loaded. We would be last or second last. Yeah, we are only the Kraken are worse than us in the Pacific Division. So what the hell? You're gonna have the Canucks, Golden Knights, or like Kings and Sharks all missing the playoffs, and then every team in the Eastern wildcards is gonna have less points than them. That's crazy. So the goaltending controversy has kind of continued. It seems that Levi has to be the starter for this foreseeable future because he has kept up really good stats. 11-5-1 record. I've been rotating the 3 goalies, making sure the other guys still get to play, and yet Marilainen still considerably has better stats than both of them. Like, Sogard's stats have improved a lot, but he's not getting very many wins. And Korpisalo's stats have improved too. He actually has picked up some wins, which is good. So I don't really know what to do here. It feels weird playing 3 goalies like this, with only 18 games played for the most games played out of the 3 of them, but I don't think Sogard has done bad enough that he should go back to the AHL. And then Korpisalo as well, like, I could just trade him, but if Sogard starts doing shitty again, it's good to have Korpi as a backup plan. Or if Marilainen falls off the rails, Korpi is the veteran, so weird situation here. I think I'm just going to keep going with 3 goalies for now and see what we can do. The defense still doing pretty well overall. Sanderson, Shabbat, Chikrin, they're all carrying in terms of the plus minus, and then everyone else is a minus. Zub, Alexiak, Gannett, I think with minus 11 and only 3 assists. I might have to like send him down, or just like maybe just put Clevin in instead, but he's also minus 9, like barely any better. So we might need to make a move on defense. They're just not simming too well. We might need to switch it up, try something a little different here. I think Alexiak is in the last year of his contract, so maybe we'll move him out for a draft pick or something and try to pick up someone else. Could be a possibility at the deadline here. I don't know yet though. There was a few injuries. Chikrin missed about like 6-7 games, I think. Other than that, though, pretty good. And the forwards have had almost no injuries at all until now. You'll see Josh Norris hasn't missed a single game yet, but he did get injured right as I stopped the simulation. So I moved Demidov up to the second line for now. Although I think I'm going to do more line changes because Kachuk, Giroux, and Stützle with absolutely horrific plus-minus numbers, like, you just have to break up the line at that point. Like, that's messed up. They're getting a lot of their production on the power play, although it's dipped a little bit since the beginning of the season, I think. So I gotta switch that up. Like, we'll have to take a look at it. I would like maybe Norris would be a good option to move up because he has the most points of the second line, but he's injured now, so I'll have to figure something out. Pinto, he had 10 goals in the first 20 games. Only scored 5 in the next 20, which is a little rough. Although 30 points in 41 games overall is pretty good. I'm happy with that if he can keep up that pace. Batherson not doing great, but I think maybe I'll switch him with Giroux to try to change up that first line. Demidov still doing awesome as a depth scorer. Joseph doing pretty well. Maybe I could move him up the lineup because he's a good two-way forward. Maybe help with the plus minus. Yarventi, Lawton, Greg is still doing quite bad. Although with the injury to Norris, he's going to get more ice time. I think I put him on the power play. So I don't know. I guess I got to break up that first line. Tkachuk, Giroux, Stützle carried the team last year, like they often do in real life. But those plus-minus numbers are just brutal. Like, most of the goals that we're getting scored on 5v5 is when these guys are out there. So I got to switch it up, I feel like. And Giroux is the lowest overall of the three. He's starting to drop a little bit in his old age, 38 years old. So I feel like he has to move down. Batherson would give pretty good chemistry. Could do Pinto, although I like having him at center. Joseph would give it a +3, which is pretty good. Greg would also give it a +3. I don't know if I want him on the first line, though. Let's try Batherson there. Maybe, what else could we do for the second line? Probably keep Demidov there. Get Demidov playing with the veteran. He can learn from Giroux a little bit. I kind of want to move up Joseph, but he would have to replace Pinto or Batherson. Maybe, you know what? Yeah, let's put Joseph. We're going to put Joseph, the two-way forward, with Tkachuk and Stützle to try to improve those defensive numbers. Batherson, we'll put him on the third line for now. His plus-minus is good, but his point scoring is only okay. Like, only 6 goals in 41 games is pretty rough. So he's definitely not having as good of a season as last year. So we're in a playoff spot halfway through the season, but it's not perfect. We have some issues defensively, and the goaltending is just an absolute carousel. I could just ride out Merilainen and give him all the starts, but I feel like realistically, you wouldn't want to just give that many starts to a rookie to the point where he's just playing every game. So I feel like I have to put the other guys in there every now and then, especially because the plan was for Merilainen to just play another year in the AHL as a starter down there. So it'll be interesting. I'm gonna cut here and come back at the trade deadline and see what position the Sens are at that point. This is not good. Crisis moment here. We've just had some huge losses. 6-2 loss to the Habs, who passed us in the standings, as you can see there, and then 6-3 loss to the Panthers, who are also ahead of us in the second spot in the division. And then we lose to the Hurricanes too, who are in the other division, but they're like one of our competitors still. And then freaking Washington now. Hopefully we can beat them. A rough record for them, so we should be better. But 27, 21, and 8 at this point is looking not very good. I feel like I'll have to do something at the trade deadline to give us a better chance. Hopefully we don't really fall out of it before then. Merilainen's stats have started to slip a little bit, down to a 9-12, but he's still our best goalie, so we're gonna go with him for the next few games here. I hope we can beat the Capitals. Man, you know what? We're only ahead of them because of loser points. We only have one more win than them. It's just those loser points that do it. So I don't know. We need to end this losing streak. Oh, big 6-0 win. Okay, hopefully we can get back on track before the trade deadline. How many more games do we have to go until then? Wow, this is slow to load. Okay, 4 more games to the trade deadline. So maybe I'll just keep the commentary going here. It might be a little slow though, because I gotta rotate the goalies. So Levi got the shutout in that game, so we have to make sure he's playing the next game too. Yeah, get him in there. I'm also going to save the game because I don't want it to crash or anything. And we've made pretty good progress, although our record is slipping. Okay, Kraken have a bad record. Can we beat them? Come on. Fuck, we lose to the Kraken! No! That's not good. Okay, Chikrin was injured, so we'll get him back in. I don't know why they're trying to trade me Luukkonen. I don't need goalies. I have more than enough goalies. So Merilainen had a shutout, and then he had a pretty bad game, so I guess Corpy's going to play. Yeah. Okay, and we're going to get Chikrin back in there. Gannett was his replacement. Hey, he scored a goal. He finally scored a goal this season, but still -13 is pretty bad. So get your ass scratched, buddy, and get Chikrin back in there. I'm going to have to get a defenseman that fits the third pairing because whoever plays on the third pairing just sucks. Like, Tyler Clevin also -14. And then, I can't get good chemistry with all these combinations here. I don't like this. So, damn. Okay, you know what? We're going to do Alexiak, put Zub, Clevin. Okay, yeah, something like that. Come on, can we beat the Canucks? Please. Please. Yes, big win. Corpy, a shutout. Okay, and then Sharks and Oilers. Sharks have a better record than us, and so do the Oilers. The Oilers are one of the best teams in the league, so shit, we're really, luckily, like, we're in the wild card spot, but luckily there isn't anyone too close to us. Like, Maple Leafs, we're 5 points ahead of them, and we have games in hand, and then, yeah, the teams in the other division, Penguins and Flyers, we're also 5 points ahead of them, so we're struggling lately, but we gotta keep, we might not fall out of the playoffs. There's another win, which is good. Okay, we beat some good teams there. That was a good win streak against some good teams. So 70 points now. I want to get back in the top 3 in the division, but not too bad. That's a decent standing at the trade deadline, I would say. 31-28, 31-22-8 at the trade deadline, looking pretty good now. So, yeah, Levi is still the best goalie, but Corpy's been playing way better lately. His stats have improved. Sogard hasn't played in a while. He's still on 3 wins. I think I might send him back to the AHL at this point, although his stats are okay. They're not that bad. Sanderson, very good, plus 26. Sanderson and Chabot has been an amazing pairing. Holy crap. Chabot is not getting any power play points on that second unit. I guess he didn't in the previous seasons either. Chychrun, 25 points. Is looking better than last year. We really got to do something about the third pairing. Yeah, I'm gonna try to trade for a defenseman because just Gannett and Clevin just allowing so many goals at even strength. We can't. We gotta improve. The one thing that maybe it's not so bad because in the first like 10-15 games or so, Gannett was like already a -10. So since then he's been like not that much worse than even. The plus minus hasn't gotten worse. It's kind of stayed about the same. But we still gotta get someone who can be a plus overall. Forwards. Kachuk, yeah, wow. Kachuk and Stützle still minuses, which is really annoying. I moved Joseph up to play with them. He is a +9, although he's not really getting any points. So we might have to put someone else on that line instead. Maybe I'll try Batherson this time. He's not really producing. I don't know, and I don't know how much it helped their plus minuses. I'd have to look back and see if their plus minuses have actually gotten better. I don't think Stützle's has. That looks about the same. Pinto is still doing really good. maybe I could move up Pinto, play him on right wing. That could be an idea because he's got those really good defensive stats. Or maybe put Stützle on the wing. I don't know. Norris is doing great. We like that. Batherson's still only 8 goals. That's pretty rough. Demidov though is doing really well with only 10 minutes of ice time. That's pretty awesome. Greg is doing a little bit better. 27 points now. Yarventi pretty good. Yeah, all these guys. I don't know. I feel like the forward core is really good on paper, but just maybe some of the line combos aren't the best. So I'll tweak that. I don't know if I would trade for a forward at the deadline. I think the target is definitely going to be a defenseman because that third pairing is just really struggling. So I'm going to take a little bit of a pause here in recording, but I'm going to come back with the trade deadline and see what I can do to improve this team before the playoffs. Alright, disregard the fact that it is now a completely different day. We're continuing with the same video. Don't even worry about it. Still here at the trade deadline, I have completed a short list of defensemen that I want to take a look at for our third pairing. So I'm going to pull that up here. There's a few guys, but there's a couple guys in particular that I think I want to go for. This is the full list right here. All these guys about like 82, 81 overall. I like to try to be a little bit realistic with trades in this game. So like if one of these guys is on a playoff team and they're doing really well for them, it wouldn't make so much sense for them to trade them at the deadline. So I will try to look more for players that I think would be more likely to be given up by their teams. The thing that I'm really looking at first is Justin Barron being in the AHL for the Canadiens. It's a little bit weird, and he's only 24, 81 overall though. Also fits all defensive pairings. This is a guy that to me looks like the team might be potentially looking to give him up if they can get a good asset in return, because they're not even playing him on their NHL roster, but he's like absolutely dominating the AHL with plus 29 and 29 points. And playing 22 minutes a night almost. They played him in the NHL the last 2 years, so I don't really know why they cut him. I guess he had slightly worse results in his second year here, or third year. So he's chilling in their AHL team. I think I want to go for him, especially because he's a right-handed D as well, and obviously we have so many left-handed D on the Sens. So what I'm gonna do for this is I'm gonna go to find trade and see what the AI would want in return for Justin Barron, because I don't want to just totally fleece them. I'm gonna let them make an offer to me first. And yeah, if you look at their defense depth chart, like Lane Hudson is already at 86 overall, so he's the #1 guy, putting up some points. Then they have Gooley, Reinbacher, Harris, Matheson, Jackaj, and then Barron is stuck in the AHL. So, and then they have these other, for some reason they have a bunch of old guys in the AHL too. And then Logan Mailloux is in the AHL as well. They have so many defensemen, holy shit. Yeah, they have too many goddamn defensemen. So I am going to take Justin Barron off of their hands. If they're not going to give him any ice time, I will give him some ice time. So they want a goalie prospect, another goalie prospect. They want a center prospect, defense prospect, or a left-wing prospect. So they want all my prospects, basically. I think I have a lot of goalie prospects, so that could be a good avenue to try to move one of them since I have plenty. They do have some goalie prospects as well. They have Fowler coming up, so maybe in the future they'll have Fowler and Olsen. Maybe this Volokin guy. He's got really good stats in the AHL. Holy shit. So yeah, I don't know why they want a goalie prospect from me. They seem to have some goalie prospects, but hey, that's what the AI wants. So I think we're gonna run with it. Somehow they have Steven Stamkos on their team. That's really funny. And they're looking to trade him. They're in a playoff spot though, so I don't really know why they would do that. I don't think I'm going to take any of their other players. Like, maybe we could get someone for depth, like one of these other guys that they... Oh, you know what? I think maybe one of their forwards, because our AHL team isn't doing too good for, like, goal scoring. Don't know how much that guy will help, but maybe Harvey Pinard, because he's another guy that is, like, on their team in real life, but he's not... he got sent back down in this game, just stuck in the AHL, so he would probably be on my AHL team too, but he could be a little useful asset for us. I would have to give them another skater to take him back though. What's like our most useless person who's on a contract? Hamara, like, okay, he's a good prospect in real life, but he's not rated very highly in this game, so 67 overall at 21 years old, I could probably just give him up. I could probably just throw him into this trade. We've got enough prospects that we won't be needing him. Maybe I can get a late pick back from them too. Let's try like a 6th. How do you like that, Montreal? All right, trade accepted. Not our first trade of this GM mode, but the first trade of this video series on the GM mode. So let me know what you guys think of that. Acquiring Justin Barron for some prospects. I feel like that's gonna be a pretty good boost to our decor here. Yeah, we got him in the lineup here. I'll have to add him in. We'll do best lines to the AHL, and then let's go see how he fits. It said that he would fit all of the defense pairings. Hoping he really fits on the 3rd pair though, because that's what we're trying to improve the most. And boom. All right, he fits pretty well. Yeah, look at that. If he grows, he could be really good on line 2 as well. Like if his overall goes up, he'll get really good chemistry on line 2 and pretty good chemistry for line 3, so I like that. And we can shuffle this around as much as we want. Okay, next I'm gonna try to trade for P.O. Joseph. I think it would be awesome to have both the Joseph brothers on this team. And I double checked the standings, and Pittsburgh is actually near the bottom of their division, so it would make sense to want to sell him off. He'll be a UFA at the end of the year, so I'm gonna do fine trade for P.O. Joseph. Oh my god, they want Matthew Joseph in return for P.O. Joseph. That's too perfect. That's hilarious. I'm like, I want both the brothers, and they said, no, we want the other brother in return. I'm sorry, Pittsburgh, but I cannot do that. What else do you want? A 3rd and Clevin, that would be a pretty good deal for me, I feel like, because Clevin hasn't developed in this game. Like, I could give up Gannett instead, maybe. Should I give up Gannett or Clevin? Gannett was very good last year in 45 games, but then in the same number of games this year, he's been significantly worse. And Clevin, you know what? Maybe I'll give up Gannett instead because he's also an expiring contract, whereas Clevin is still signed for another year at a cheaper cap hit. So even though he hasn't performed as well as Gannett has had, that would probably make more sense. All right, so it's time to attempt another trade offer here. The original base of this trade was Tyler Clevin and a third for P.O. Joseph. I decided to switch it to Max Gannett. I think he'll still be an RFA, so Pittsburgh can retain his rights after this season. And then I added in a swap of AHL forwards just to try to change up the AHL team a little bit. Let's see if Pittsburgh goes for this deal. Are we going to reunite the Joseph brothers? Rejected! Oh, they didn't like it. Okay, but it was just a little bit off. So if I put just like a late round pick here, 7th, will that do it? There we go, 7th round pick added in. All right, so sticking Joseph in with Barron on the third pairing is a +1 chemistry, which is a huge improvement over what we had before. And they both have the exact same line strategies. If we wanted to play them together on line 2, they would get a +3, which is pretty cool. But obviously Chychrun and Zub are gonna get that ice time for now. Oleksiak is scratched. He's probably been one of the lesser performers on our D-core this year, and he's going to be a UFA upcoming, but we'll keep him for the playoff run. He will obviously slot in whenever anyone gets injured. Chabot and Chychrun seem to like getting injured just like they do in real life, so he'll still get some playing time. And also Zub and Oleksiak have had similar stats, kind of like -3, -4 they both are, so I could always switch them in and out. But this, I think, is an improvement on the D-core. Adding Joseph and Barron, I think that looks pretty good. And I think that's all I'm going to do at the trade deadline. I really like our forward core and our goalies. We could use a higher overall goalie, but we've got Merolainen leading the way as a young kid, so he should grow even more. And I was tempted to move on from Korpisalo and just play Merolainen and Søgaard, but Corpy's still got 2 more years left on his deal, so I don't know if he's really the right guy to move at the deadline, like for other teams. Maybe more of an off-season move to get rid of him. And since he played all of our playoff games last year, if Merolainen stumbles at all, we could go back to Corpy and maybe he'll do well in the playoffs again. So I think this is going to be the team that we move forward with into the playoffs. I'm excited to see what we can do. It'll be a tough task to live up to last year's playoff performance, getting to Game 7 of the 3rd round. It's going to be interesting. Oh, Timmy injured. No! Oh, that's brutal. April 16th, he's probably going to miss some playoff games. Oh, shit. Okay, major issue here. Oh, Scott Laughton injured. God damn it. Ridley Gregg injured now, too. Everyone's getting injured. This is brutal. Yeah, now we're missing Laughton, Grieg, and Stützle. That's fucking terrible. All these C/left wing guys. All right, so Stephen Halliday is getting called up to replace Ridley Gregg. He actually fits the 3rd and 4th lines pretty decently, so I like that. It's going to be his first couple of NHL games at the end of the season here. All right, so here we are at the end of the season. We finished off on a pretty good winning streak, despite getting some injuries to our forward core. So we're going to take a look at the standings. I think we finished 2nd in the division. There it is. 5 points behind the Detroit Red Wings. Looks like it's going to be a matchup with the Montreal Canadiens in the 1st round here. Let's just advance a couple of days to confirm it. Boom, there it is, a playoff series against the Habs. This is going to be intense. We finished with a 47, 25, and 10 record. Let's take a look at how the stats look at the end of the season. It feels like it's going to be a bit of a goalie controversy continuing into the playoffs because Korpisalo actually played really well down the stretch and kind of caught up to Merolainen in terms of the goalie stats. Like, they both have over 20 wins now and their save percentages are really similar. Søgaard finished the season in the AHL, pretty good stats down there. Maybe I'll trade Corpy in the offseason, try to make room for Søgaard, but if Korpisalo ends up starting more playoff games than Merolainen, it might be a little difficult to make that move. On defense, amazing season from Sanderson, 53 points plus 36, that's so good. Chabot as well, plus 32. Chychrun, pretty good season. In real life, you would still want more production from him, but in this game, like, I'll take that. As long as he's simming well defensively, that's what we need. We don't need more point scorers on the Ottawa Senators. We need guys who can actually defend. And in this game, it's working. P.O. Joseph seemed like a really good pickup. 21 games for us after the deadline, 8 points and +4. So he's been awesome so far. I think he likes playing with his brother. Zub, doing all right, -2, so he improved a little bit. His minus was worse earlier. Oleksiak actually improved to an even +-, so that's good. And Barron played 16 games. He didn't get any points, but he was a +4. So that's pretty good because I was running Clevin and Gannett on the third pair for a lot of the season, and they were just really bad minuses. So a +4, very good from Justin Barron. The forwards, Brady finishes with 90 points, just 2 points less than last year. He's still a minus, but his plus-minus was worse before. Same with Giroux and Stützle, so they got a little bit better with that. Kind of a down year for Stützle, only 74 points. Yeah, that's almost a 20-point drop from last year. He's kind of up and down, like 90 points in real life, and then 72 points in the sim, then he goes back up to 93, back down to 74. But he had 30 power play points this season, so our power play was on fire. I guess it was just even strength wasn't clicking as much. How many? And Brady had 36 power play points. That's crazy. Usually power plays don't sim that well in this game, but we must have had an amazing power play percentage. And Giroux just does what he always does. 77 points at the age of 38 is just amazing, absolutely awesome. Pinto with 32 goals, 32 assists is a beautiful stat line. Sometimes playing center, sometimes playing right wing, and a +26. What an absolute beast of a player we have right there in Shane Pinto. Batherson had a little bit of a points drop from last year. Only scoring 11 goals is tough. If he can't score some more goals next season, he might have to be kind of on the chopping block, especially with 1 year left on his deal. So I don't know how long Drake is going to be hanging around here, especially with Demidov coming up with 9 goals and 42 points from 4th line ice time and 2nd power play unit. That's really good production for only 10.5 minutes a game. This kid is going to be the future of the Ottawa Senators right here with Stützle and Tkachuk. And can't skip over Josh Norris as well. Almost 30 goals. If he didn't miss a few games, he might have been able to hit 30, get one more. For his cap hit, it's not the best production, but with the cap going up, it's not too bad. He was a +20 as well, so that's awesome second line numbers in my book. For the amount of money that he's paid, it's not amazing, but that's about as good as you can ask for a second liner. It's 29 goals, 56 points, so I'm happy with Josh Norris. Ridley Gregg actually finished with quite good stats. He had a really rough start to the year, but 17 goals, 38 points. He started scoring some more goals. 14.5 shooting percentage is a huge jump. Hopefully that wasn't just like pure luck, because we really need him contributing in the bottom 6. And Joseph, 35 points, exactly what you want from him. Same with Lawton, 30 points. Yarventi, 15 goals, 28 points. I like that goal scoring in the bottom 6. Danforth, whatever. Baines, whatever. Halliday played 2 NHL games at the end of the season. Doesn't have a point yet, but he might get to play a couple of playoff games. And McEwen, whatever. So that's how the stats look for the 25-26 Ottawa Senators. It is time to go into the playoffs, which I'm gonna do in another video because this video is way too long at this point. So a playoff run, when I sim the playoffs in this game, I like to go in and click simulate game in here and go period by period, see who scored the goals, see kind of how the game played out and what the story of the game was, see who scored the most points and stuff like that. So I'm really excited. I like simming the playoffs in this game. It always gets kind of intense. If we get like a big overtime game, I might watch the AI play it and see if we can have like a fun moment where one of our guys scores an overtime winner or something like that. So yeah, look forward to that in the next video. Going to be simulating a playoff run with the Ottawa Senators. It's going to be an intense series against the Montreal Canadiens. Thank you for watching. Have a good one.